Boom. What player was besides Justin Fields? Was any Bears on the team? He was like, man, they actually was solid this year.
Oh, you know what? All right, I'm gonna tell you who my guy was, and that's Tevin Jenkins. Okay, Tevin Jenkins surprised me now, and then you would think that at the worst case scenario, you would think that he was injured a lot, but he played in 13 games, starting in 11 games. So despite, I know it's 17 games in the season, but he played in 13 games. Now, Tevin Jenkins is my guy. He only gave up 3 penalties, whatever it's holding a false start, 3 penalties. He only gave up 2 sacks. And I feel like this guy is one of our best O-linemen, probably our best O-lineman on the Bears team. Availability is the biggest ability, and availability is his biggest weakness. So I only want to jump into the gun a little bit. Now, he played 576 snaps, which was 73% of the plays for the Bears. So, over 70%, not too great, but if he can play more, I think he would be my biggest surprise. We thought he was out, in the Bears preseason. You heard all these trade rumors, not playing third string on the depth chart with this O-line that was already known as not being great. With all these rookies coming in, I think that Tevin Jenkins was my biggest surprise. He's a #1 starter in any team at guard if he can be healthy. So that's the crazy part. But with a team that's so weak, somebody that only plays 73% of snaps could be your biggest happy surprise.
Yeah. Adi, same question. Who was a pleasant surprise for you?
Well, boom, looking at my notes, I went with Tevin Jenkins. Tevin Jenkins, he's aggressive, he's nasty, he's explosive in the run game. His pass protection has improved. He reminds me of Kyle Long. You know what I'm saying? Reminds me of Kyle Long. Kyle Long, he was a Pro Bowler at right tackle and right guard. Tevin Jenkins can play both positions as well. Like Boone said, now both of those players had some misfortune in the injury department as well. So hopefully Tevin Jenkins is going to have much more luck with his health at this point going forward. And the thing is, Tevin Jenkins, he was rated as the 3rd best offensive guard in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus. The only 2 guards that was rated ahead of him was the Cleveland's 5-time Pro Bowler Joel Bitonio and the Atlanta Falcons' Chris Lindstrom. Okay, so and these guys, Chris Lindstrom just made the Pro Bowl. He's the first battle Pro Bowler, both of those guys. So the interior offensive line for the Bears is looking pretty solid next year. Lucas Patrick, he missed a lot of the games with the hand injury. He had the toe injury, so he missed a majority of the season. He should be back and healthy next year. And then the Bears can save about $6 million if they cut Cody Whitehair this offseason. I'm going to look into that, see if they're going to cut him, but they can keep him, and then that would be a decent
Cody Whitehair was, I don't know, he was bad this year. He was not that good this year.
Yeah, so they might cut him. They might cut Cody Whitehair. But the thing is, with Tevin Jenkins' 3rd year, next year, I'm looking for him to make a push for the Pro Bowl.
Ooh. That's high expectations.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it for a moment. But I agree with you though.
Who was you looking at, Marcus?
One guy I was looking at, I'm gonna stay on the offensive line. But anytime you and it's almost, I know I just said what I would do at the draft, but at the same time drafting a guy in the 5th round from Southern Utah, and not only played in all 17 games. He also played every snap. Braxton Jones. Braxton Jones.
He wasn't that bad.
1,034 snaps.
Wow.
Every snap. So 5th round. So like I said, he's starting to answer that question as I said a minute ago. Is this just a starting offensive lineman for the Bears because they're really bad, or could this guy? I don't think he could go to other teams and be left tackles, but I still think that's amazing. Much shuffling was going around in the other 4 positions. He was the mainstay. So that was a huge surprise because we even thought that was a surprise when he started. And I was like, okay. How long is this going to happen? By week 2, is he going to be gone? By week 3, whoa, it's week 10 and he's still in it. So, they gave him major help, but that's still huge to start at left tackle your rookie season, and not only that, play every snap.
And number 19, the 19th best offensive tackle in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus. That Lions game made me a little nervous though. Made me feel like agree with Marcus about taking the left tackle in the 1st round. The draft But before that game, he was looking really good. But yeah, so we'll see what they do.
And with that taking the left tackle, that's still huge with that experience. And I'm not saying like we could just move people around and it's automatically good, but the option or to explore, maybe he's a great right tackle.
Or left guard. Left guard. Maybe take Cody Whitehurst's spot at left guard.
Yeah, that was pretty that he played. I didn't realize he played every snap of the season.
Yeah, so that's a lot of snaps compared to Tevin Jenkins. Only having 576.
He's the only offensive lineman on the team that played every snap.
Everybody else was they were shuffling in and out.
And to get him in the 5th round, that was pretty amazing.
5th round, not only that, from Southern Utah. Many football players coming out of Southern Utah.
Yeah.
Right. That is pretty incredible. So, Adi, real quick, who was you disappointed in with the Bears?
I was disappointed in the damn Travis Gibson, defensive end. You know, he stepped up big time for the Bears in 2021 when Khalil Mack was out for most of the season. You know, he had 7 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 5 forced fumbles. But this year he really fell off. He only had 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 0 forced fumbles. He fell off big time. This is the worst edge rusher combination I've ever seen in Bears history. Al-Qadim Muhammad. This guy, I mean, in the entire season, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Okay.
Oh, wow. That guy played every game.
Yeah.
Outside linebacker, right?
Yeah, number 55. I hope he's gone next year. Please cut him. And so, March 13th is when free agency begins. And despite Yannick Ngakoue not being good against the run game, below average against the run game, he's never had less than 8 sacks and less than double-digit quarterback hits in his 7-year career. He'll be 28 years old next year, and he's also coming from the Indianapolis Colts. And also, the Bears do not take Will Anderson from Alabama with the #1 pick, and they want to trade back. There's a guy from Texas Tech. Okay, this guy Tyree Wilson. Okay, he's pretty good. He's bigger than Will Anderson. Okay?
Will Anderson kind of small though.
Yeah,
that's his only problem.
Yeah, but he's 6'4", like 245. But
guy from Texas Tech?
Tyree, no. Will Anderson 6'4", 245. But the Texas Tech guy, he's 6'6", 275, 7-foot wingspan. Okay, Tyree Wilson. Wow. Okay, and he has real closing speed on the quarterbacks in the backfield. So. That's a guy to look at. They're going to get a couple of guys, free agency and draft for edge rush.
Yeah. Boom. Who was disappointed for the Bears for you?
You know what? This guy right here, he haven't even been on the Bears the whole season. But I would go with Chase Claypool. I was disappointed because we gave up a lot. We gave up the
second round pick, number 32 pick.
Number 32 overall.
The first pick in the second round.
The Bears have that pick right now. Okay, number 1. But I'm going to go just about giving up that pick. The hype coming in with him, being 6'4", being a go up and get a receiver. And you look at his stats, okay? Number 1, he played in 7 games and he started 3 for the Bears. He had 14 catches for 140 yards.
I hate those stats. Those stats make me depressed.
That is some depressing stats.
Awful.
Now leading into that though, okay, he played in 7 games for the Bears. He only started 3 of those games, and he had 14 catches for 140 yards.
That's sad.
That is some sad football right there. And it get worse because when he played with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he played in 8 games. He started all 8 games with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he only had 32 catches for 311 yards. Okay, so he played better for the Steelers than the Bears, so it leaves me with some kind of hope that you need to get that off-season, preseason ramp up, but that's not great stats for the Steelers. 32 catches, 311 yards. You need a whole preseason to do that. I hope you can do more for the Bears. It was horrible because his best game for the Bears was in week 13. Okay, he had against Green Bay, he had 5 catches for 28 yards though. Okay, 5 catches, 28 yards. He had 6 targets. Dang. Okay, so it really force-fed him the ball, and it didn't work out. The week before that, his first game with the Bears, he had 2 catches for 51 yards. I liked that better. Yeah. 2 catches.
That was against the Jets, right?
Against the Jets.
Yeah, but Fields wasn't playing. He had his best game, most yards without Fields. But because Trevor Siemian was actually throwing the 50-50 ball to him.
2 catches, 51 yards. But so That was his best game, despite people thinking of the 5-catch game for 28 yards. Now, his best game of the season was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that was against the Bucks in Week 6, and he had 7 catches for 96 yards. And so he didn't break 100 yards receiving the whole season. And that says something about this guy you're giving up basically a 32nd overall pick for. It's not good. It's not good. I'm disappointed. He should have been better. Coming out of Notre Dame, he
had his first 2 seasons. He was killing them.
He was amazing.
Yeah, he did his thing.
Amazing.
I just think this year he was just the outlier.
Amazing rookie year, kind of started falling off his second year, and then this year George Pickens came in and
go up and get it type of guy should be able to run a fly and go up and get it. You know, you run a seam and you just go up and get it. It's a shame that this guy couldn't go and get no deep ball. He's supposed to be fast, big, and be able to jump. Run a deep route and let Justin Fields, with the cannon he got, throw the ball. He should have did something. Not even a lot of production, just big plays.
But how many targets did he get, though? Is he going to throw on the ball? Is he treat him like Allen Robinson?
He got 5 targets for 28 yards receiving. Okay, he had 5 targets, but he didn't go out and go get it with a deep ball. He's 6'4", supposed to be fast. Only 28 yards, a lot of short running routes. Something's wrong here. All right, something's wrong with him. I'm disappointed in him. I don't think he can.
He did get hurt against Green Bay, though.
You know what? But we got my insurance with him is that we got Bailey Jones. I know we got to move on, but we got Bailey Jones. One of those guys, Butterfingers Jones, besides or don't do nothing. Claypool. So we got 2 guys. One of them guys going to do something. All right.
Let's start with Coach Floyd. Let's talk about the Bears. As you know, they got the number 1 pick. It was announced they got the number 1 pick. Ryan Poles got everything he could imagine that happened this season. Plenty of cap space. The number 1 pick as well. So, Coach, what is the Bears' biggest needs going into next season?
Well, as you watch our Chicago Bears, we know that almost every position is a need.
Yes.
And so as you look at these needs, you have to rank them. I'm going to go with the unpopular opinion. I'm going to go against the D tackle, the 3 technique. I'm going to go against the edge rusher. I'm going to go against the wide receiver. I think the most important thing is to protect Justin Fields. And I say this because we know, Ryan Poles know, Justin Fields know that he has a weakness. He holds the ball too long. And so because he holds the ball too long, you almost have to protect him from himself. And you have to get him a left tackle. We have this golden piece. We have this franchise quarterback, which we all said is we're going to look for the future. He's going to be the $200 million man in a couple years or whatever. You have to protect him. And with this, it's almost like the model of the Colts did for Peyton Manning, the New England Patriots did for Tom Brady. They made these guys untouchable. And what I mean by that is untouchable, whereas in their situation, they knew they didn't have the mobility. So if they don't get touched, if they stay clean, he will be able to pick you apart. And so it's going back to Justin Fields' strength. When he was at Ohio State, he had the best offensive line, one of the better offensive lines in the country. He was able to hold the ball a little longer, and he was able to pick you apart. So I think the biggest need right now is protecting Justin Fields, and Justin Fields becoming not only the runner who he has evolved into, but just imagine if he became the passer he was at Ohio State. So right now, I think that's the biggest need. Is left tackle.
Left tackle. I like it. They definitely need to protect Justin Fields. I mean, you got a franchise quarterback, you got to protect him.
Brenton Jones, I mean, he played solid. You know, Brenton Jones. Solid. He was until that Lions game. That what made me nervous. He was getting bull rush, which was his weakness, like the bull rush. But he, you know, like Marcus said, he played every snap this season and everything. But I was thinking, like, man, maybe we keep him at left tackle. But that Lions game really put some doubt in my head.
Yeah, you got to also think most quarterbacks have the same left tackle for years. So you don't want to just have a left tackle for a little. Like, you want a left tackle to come in here and play 10, 15 years right alongside with Justin Fields.
Yeah, definitely.
Boom. What would you think the Bears' biggest needs going into next season?
Okay, so the Bears' biggest need, I think you got to talk about what they did last year as well to kind of address the biggest need. Okay, so I'm going to get to it. So last year, the Bears got a free agent offensive lineman from Green Bay, and another free agent offensive lineman.
So they got Lucas Patrick from Green Bay
and Reef from Riley Reef. Okay, and then they in the draft they grabbed about 4 to 5 offensive linemen late in the draft.
Right.
Okay, so now I think they need to reverse that action. Okay. Now in the draft, I will get a couple of in this year, 2023, I get a couple of young receivers in the draft and get a lot of defensive linemen. Okay, and late in the round, a lot of just plugging the gap defensive linemen. And then in the free agency, I would get 2, and I got to disagree with Marcus, big boy defensive tackles. Okay, I think their biggest need is defensive line. So I would draft defensive linemen across the board in the late rounds, and I would get at least 2 big boy defensive tackles, maybe a defensive tackle on the defensive end in free agency early on in March. Make sure you plug that in and get that stronger. Their biggest need is defensive linemen in the front 7 because they gotta do better than what they was. I mean, it was tragic. I've never seen a front 7
worse.
That bad in my life. So their biggest need is defensive linemen in the front 7. We're gonna just flip what you did last year when they got a lot of offensive linemen late in the late rounds. Get a lot of defensive linemen in the late rounds, and then in the draft, get a couple of receivers, first, second round, whatever. Get your defensive linemen in the free agency. That's why you just flip what you did last year, and then address the other side of the trenches, which is the D-line. You addressed the trenches last year. I know it's not perfect. You know, Justin Fields needed that offensive tackle as you're talking about. I mean, the Bears got so much money, we can get 2 defensive tackles and an offensive tackle. That's my dream in the free agency, but it's hard to get an offensive tackle in free agency.
A left tackle.
Left tackle is hard.
It's hard. So that's what I would want to do, but I'm sure they won't be able to do it. So I would sacrifice that offensive tackle to make Justin Fields like the best he can be, and hope that the guys we got get better. And I would flip what we did last year and get defensive linemen, defensive tackle specifically.
Now I want to piggyback on what both of y'all just said. Now, defensive tackle, that's a nice position to get some defensive tackles this offseason in free agency. You got Javon Hargrave with the Philadelphia Eagles. He'll be a free agent this offseason. He was a 2021 Pro Bowler, okay? And he'll be 30 next year for the next season. Then you got Washington's Daron Payne. This guy, yes.
Yeah.
He's coming off the best year of his career. 11.5 sacks, 18 tackles for loss, 20 quarterback hits, okay? The Vikings, Dalvin Tomlinson. He'll be 29 next year. He had a pretty solid season. And the Broncos, they got Draymond Jones. He's 26 years old. He'll be 26 next year. He had 6.5 sacks this season, 9 tackles for loss, and he only played 13 games, okay? So they can get some defensive tackles in free agency. Now, as far as the draft, I don't think we're going to get a left tackle in the draft like Marcus wanted a left tackle. Paris Johnson Jr. from the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes played really good against the Bulldogs, and that guy was very solid game, very impressive. You got Peter Skoronski from Northwestern.
You got to say these guys' positions.
Paris
left tackle.
Yeah, left tackle. Yeah, Paris Johnson Jr. is the left tackle. Peter Skoronski is the left tackle, but his arm length. They talk about his arm length. He only 6'4". They try to say he could be a guard or a left tackle.
Right.
And then the Bulldog, Broderick Jones, okay? And he's battle tested. He's a Bulldog. He battle tested in the SEC, another left tackle. So I think we're going to end up with one of those dudes in the first round. I hope they get one of them guys in the first round. And then hopefully the defensive tackle stuff, I hope they do that in free agency.
That trading back is going to put them thinking with Jones, with the Ohio State.
What's this offensive tackle from Northwestern? What is this deal? You got these other guys rated above the Northwestern offensive tackle?
Yeah, I would rather have Paris Johnson Jr. over Skoronski from Northwestern because the Buckeye, Paris Johnson Jr. He showed it against the Bulldogs. When you getting pass protection out there against the best defense in the nation, that's impressive.
Championship game for real.
Yeah. And Skoronski, he just kind of like a tweener. They like, he can play guard, he can play left tackle. I don't want them tweener guys. I just want somebody that, hey, you're a left tackle, go play left tackle. I don't want this whole you can play your guard or left tackle, we don't know what you are type stuff. You know what I'm saying? And, so Broderick Jones is another left tackle for the Bulldogs who I like.
Yeah, I mean every position y'all name is not wrong because it's all a need. So whatever you say, defensive line, offensive line, whatever it is, it's not wrong.
So what is Adi saying? Is it defensive line? What's the number one position?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I'm about to tell you what I think.
I was going there. No, hold on, go ahead, bro. Ask him again. Ask him again.
So what you say?
Go ahead.
You talking about both. You talking about offensive.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you I disagree with both of y'all, okay? What I think. Those are needs, but my biggest needs. Now look, thanks to the biggest mistake Huge mistake. I ain't gonna say the biggest. A huge mistake committed by Ryan Poles.
Here we go.
The Bears' biggest need is right tackle. So look,
now going somewhere else.
Yeah, it's right tackle. Now check it out. Guess who the best offensive lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers is?
James
Daniels.
Yeah.
James Daniels, 25 years old. The Pittsburgh Steelers signed him to a 3-year deal, $8 million a year. The man Ryan Poles should have re-signed him, could have put him at right guard like he played, and then could have put T.I.M.E. Jenkins at right tackle. Your right side would have been solid. But he let him walk to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the gift that keep on giving to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Man,
George Pickens, James Daniels, you want a first, second round pick, the number 32 pick. Here you go, you know what I'm saying? So they just love them some Bears in Pittsburgh.
Well, Mitch still out there.
I was gonna say Mitch.
Maybe that was part of the deal.
Man, it's just crazy. So right tackle is a hot mess for the Chicago Bears. We had Larry Bourne, the 2021 fifth round pick. We had him starting at right tackle, but then he was benched for the 34-year-old Riley Reef. Okay, so then we tried to give the Raiders 2021 first round pick Alex Leatherwood a chance to show us what he got, but Hassan Reddick for the Eagles really smoked him that game. He was a doormat. He was a revolving door. It was very sad to see. But I'm not going to get too down on Alex Leatherwood because the man
caught mono.
He caught mono. He had the mono disease, and for the majority of the season, he's recovering from that, and so he missed a lot of time. So I cannot judge him for that.
Right.
He got 2 years left on his contract, about an average of $2.3 million.
And I think the Bears have to pay it.
Yeah, so we'll have him for a couple of years. Go ahead.
I want to just jump into why I say defensive tackle is more important than offensive tackle. Right or left. Okay, because think about the Bears line going forward. Okay, you could put Larry Bourne at left guard. Okay, Larry Bourne at left guard. You got T.I.M.E. Jenkins at right guard. You got Lucas Patrick at center. You got Braxton Jones at right tackle. You can move him to right tackle, and then we're gonna get that big free agent.
That don't work. They tried Braxton. No. T.I.M.E. Jenkins was a right tackle in college. They tried to make him a left tackle. That worked horribly. They put him back on the right side. Now he's the third best offensive guard in the NFL. Okay?
Well, you know what? Braxton Jones can stay at left just to clear it up.
Keep him at all this switch positions.
But Braxton Jones might be your backup. That'll be the guy that's gonna come up for the guy they're gonna draft.
Yeah. I would like for him to compete with like Paris Johnson Jr.
That's what I'm saying.
Training camp. Don't even just because you take a first round pick, don't hand him the job. Let him compete with my man Braxton Jones. Braxton Jones was the 19th best offensive tackle in the NFL rated by Pro Football Focus. Let him battle it out with the rookie. You talking about defensive tackle?
Who could be the right tackle there? The right offensive tackle?
No, okay. I'm about to tell you.
Free agency.
I'm gonna tell you. So look, Cleveland just re-signed Jack Conklin to an extension, so he's not a free agent no more. All right. So you got Caleb McGarry from Atlanta Falcons. He'll be a free agent. You got the 49ers Mike McGlinchey. He'll be a free agent as well. Now, here's the thing. Now, let's say you don't get one of those guys. Then you got Isaac Seumalo for the Eagles. He's a guard. They can get him, or they can get Ben Powers from the Baltimore Ravens, who's also a guard, and he's the best pass blocking guard in the league. You can put them at right guard and put T.I.M.E. Jenkins at right tackle, which is his natural position. So that's how I would go about it.
So the Bears should get 2 defensive tackles and 1 offensive tackle in free agency. All right, and then they should plug in the holes later on with maybe some skill position and more defensive front 7 people in the draft.
Yeah, but in the first round pick, I'm taking a left tackle. Because if you talking about taking a defensive tackle, if you want to take a defensive tackle,
I want to trade back. And then maybe I get another offensive tackle. If I trade back, and I would get another offensive lineman. If I trade back to like 5, 6, 7, or even the
4, when the Coach got
if I trade back,
the team I would
get another O-lineman. I was in the first round, but then I would flood the third through the on to the with defensive
That's
lineman.
what I agree with that.
And when I go with defensive lineman, crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I can trade back
and get 2 second round picks, maybe one of them second round picks will be receiver.
In the third defensive lineman, defensive lineman,
I agree.
Go crazy.
But the first pick is gonna be off the left tackle.
Like I said, flipping what they did last year with getting all the offensive linemen, and go a lot of defensive linemen in the draft, and hopefully a couple of defensive linemen in free agency. And you're right, I would love to get an offensive lineman in the first round, trade back, good O lineman, and then just go crazy D lineman, sprinkle in
Gotta get a receiver in there. Gotta get a
sprinkle in one
receiver
receiver in there, and then go crazy with D lineman. Yeah.
So that's what y'all got. Look, y'all all right, okay? The Bears have so many needs. There's no wrong answer in this. So I'll just go to the other one, receiver. Okay, we need a number one go-to guy receiver, a guy that we can trust, that we know there's going to be know the playbook, that can make a play, that's a freaking athlete, somebody who can get down the field, catch 50-50 balls. You just got to have that number one guy. Joe Burrow got him, Josh Allen got him. Name any quarterback, they got him.
Man.
They got him. Everybody has a guy. And the Bears need a guy with Justin Fields, somebody he's comfortable with, that he knows is going to get open and that can make plays. Because every pass, believe it or not, every pass is not going to be perfect. You need your receiver sometime to make a play.
Going into this season, there was two quarterbacks that had a lot of questions about them. There was Jalen Hurts and there was Tua.
Yeah.
Tua got Tyreek.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts got A.J. Brown.
Yep. They so much better now. Now they good quarterbacks.
Tua already had bottom.
The questions have.
Now they good quarterbacks.
He was already
had Smith.
He already Smith and Dallas got it.
Yeah, so like you gotta, and even like Trevor Lawrence, like that Jacksonville built that team up.
Christian Kirk,
you need
Ingram, Evan Ingram.
Yeah, like it's
Travis Etienne.
Zay Jones. Yeah.
you gotta look in today's NFL with all the pass rules. You gotta have a goon at wide receiver.
They might think Mooney and Claypool, like Claypool with a full off season, then you got Mooney.
Listen, even if Claypool is good, I still think they need a number one guy.
Well, in the second round, I would take a wide receiver in the second round.
Yeah.
Like if they trade back and get the Colts pick, which is like number 36 or number 37 or something in the second round, they get their second round pick.
Yeah.
That first pick in the second round, I'm thinking wide receiver or edge rusher.
I mean, you got to sprinkle one receiver in within the first 3 picks, but edge rushers, it's a lot of good edge rushers early. You want to get one early. You want to get a D lineman early in the draft. You don't want to wait.
The Bears got so many needs. They might just have the big best available.
Yeah, and they got so many needs.
They got so many needs.
I think we all might have to just realize 2023 is not the year.
No.
It's 20 now. This year, you want to see improvement.
Yeah.
They might fight for the wild card. I think they might be one of those teams winning 8, 9, 7. Between 7 and 9 games. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, they hopping Green Bay and Detroit.
Let me see what's huge.
Detroit might win the division next year. Let's be real. They might win the division.
The Vikings is cold, but you got to keep Eddie Jackson. You got to keep that secondary intact.
They can save $7 million if they cut Eddie Jackson. You got less than another guy they might
I almost
cut.
cursed on the pot. Forget that money. Eddie Jackson is.
Let me tell you something about Ryan Poles. He let James Daniels walk. He let he got rid of Roquan Smith
And James Daniels replaceable. Roquan Smith
Robert
Sean
Quinn.
replaceable. We replaced Tevin Jenkins. James Daniels with Tevin Jenkins. We got the guy hurt late in the season to replace Roquan Smith.
Oh, Jack Sanborn.
But
Is that a? I don't know if that's like a.
But my point is,
Eddie Jackson is
I
not
say you go
replaceable.
with him. We got so many needs.
Yeah,
you go with him in 2000.
Yeah.
You go with him.
I'm saying he might cut him because he does not like Ryan Pace guys. He don't like him.
Man, Eddie Jackson.
Well, you like Justin Fields.
Well, we'll see.
I have a problem.
We
with
also
Eddie
see
Jackson.
because we have the most cap space, and with that cap space, you got to start thinking about first thing. We don't know. I don't know if he's coming back. David Montgomery. You got to start looking at money for Cole Kmet. You got to start looking at money for Mooney. You got to start looking at money for all of these Jalen Johnson. You have to start
Jalen Johnson, you gotta get paid.
I think
Gotta resign Jalen
the off
Johnson.
season you might could.
Sign some extension.
Yeah. So that's a big part of that money that you want to. These guys are here and these guys are stars.
Hopefully they keep David Montgomery. He's
You
better
gotta
than
keep
Khalil
Jalen
Herbert.
Johnson. Jalen Montgomery.
But the Kansas City,
Jay Johnson is a no-brainer.
he's from the Kansas City Chiefs. Their motto has been running backs are recyclable.
Yeah.
We don't resign running backs.
Yeah, he's way better than Khalil Herbert. I'll tell you that.
Way better.
David Montgomery.
No, he definitely. Montgomery's a good running back. He's a really good.
He's a do it all running back.
yeah.
Khalil Herbert might be a better runner, but David Montgomery is you're gonna pick up blocks. He's gonna do all that. But Khalil Herbert
catch the ball.
Khalil Herbert is just.
He don't even catch
It's just run.
He don't even catch the ball out the back.
Montgomery's clearly a better back. But I wouldn't mind if they got like another speed back. Some, to go along with it.
They drafted Travis Etienne. I wouldn't be shocked if they say, let's see what he got.
He don't seem much that fast.
Yeah,
I thought
he had a bad season.
he didn't seem that fast.
But he's his draft pick though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When the GM drafts you, he gives you
He
a
had
little more.
no vision. Oh my God, he looked so bad. That boy.
So maybe he wasn't confident when he was running. So maybe he'd be better this year. I don't know, but he didn't look good at all. So I mean, the couple draft picks, I think Kyler Gordon and Briscoe. I think those guys are quality. I think those guys.
Gordon finished the season real nice.
You don't want to say it.
No, but I still would have George Pickens than Kyle Gordon because he trading second round picks for Claypool, who ain't did a damn thing, and then reaching for Baylor Jones in the
Baylor
third
Jones
round.
was a huge.
That was a huge.
Yeah. So if he would have took Pickens, then we'd been all right. I like Kyle Gordon, but I would rather have George Pickens than Kyle
Baylor
Gordon.
Jones was a huge.
That was a huge reach, and he fumbled.
He got.
I see his talent though.
He got some speed. He do got some speed.
Man,
It's
this
route
on the
running.
kick return game. His talent.
He's
on the
not a
kick
receiver.
return.
That was the thing about it. Is like you gonna draft a gadget guy for the third round. We need receivers.
He wasn't a receiver in college. You look at his highlights with Tennessee. It was all these little short hitches, and I mean,
He's gonna be the jet sweep
guy. He was like catch the ball short and trying to break it like a running back. Like he never had like no receiver running routes and breaking people down and all that.
Well, this was happening. Ryan Poles got everything. Me and Marcus, we both agreed last year that they need to clean that defense out, get rid of that money. He did that.
Definitely did.
So now they got over $110 million to spend.
Like maybe almost 120.
And then, thank you, shout out to Davis Mills, Lovie Smith, and the Houston Texans for winning that last game against the Colts. On the Hail Mary. Shout out to Lovie Smith. Still love Chicago. The Bears' best coach probably ever. I'm going to go ahead and say
I might take it.
Yeah, I'm going with Lovie.
George Dallas is actually
Going for two.
Yeah, went for two
Love
and
it.
got it. Shout out to, and then got fired after that. They so
You know
wrong.
what? Yeah, they is wrong for that. We need to get get him as a defensive coordinator for the Bears.
But the bottom line is Ryan Poles got everything he wanted to happen happened for him. Now I wish we wouldn't have gave that second round pick up to Pittsburgh. In hindsight, especially the number 32 pick. But he still got money. Number 1 pick. He's got so many options with that number 1 pick. He could trade back. He could take somebody. He's got everything at his disposal for a GM to build a roster that's gonna last a long time. So now the clock, we are watching you, Ryan Poles. Now, Adi was already early, like, man, he getting around the talent. Now I'm watching Ryan Poles. Now let's see what you gonna do.
Huge.
They are on the clock.
So you're really good at making a team horrible.
Now
let's see if you can make a team great.
Yes, absolutely. So you've been watching Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Rose, my partner, Mr. Adi Wally. I want to thank Coach Marcus Floyd and Boone for helping us talk about the 2023 Chicago Bears needs. We out.
Peace.